Hello, hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Todd Jones, and I'm an intercultural consultant as well as coach who happens to be an expat living in Malaysia. So today I wanted to actually do my video a little bit different. I'm not going to show you Malaysia, but I'm just going to talk to you about what I happen to like about Malaysia. So let me just give you a backdrop of who I am and how I got to Malaysia so that I can go into detail about what the journey has been and what I actually like. So I originally became an expat back in 2008, 2009. I moved to South Korea to be an English teacher after being in the corporate world, and I taught English in the university as well as at Agwan, which is a private institute for children. Uh, Loved Korea. I loved Korea. Never thought I would actually leave Korea. But I went home and it was in a head-on collision, so that kind of changed the trajectory of my life. And I went to grad school and studied intercultural communication with specialty in international education and became a consultant doing expat trainings, intercultural trainings for people who were moving. And so I have been doing that for almost what 14 years now. And so in the process, while I was living in Korea, I came to Malaysia. I loved it. However, that Malaysia and this Malaysia, two different Malaysias. So that brings me to the things that I actually love about Malaysia because I have a comparison, right? I've been here before. It was 12 years ago, and I can tell you what is different. So this time around, since I'm actually living here, it's a huge difference compared to me coming here on vacation, being here for about a week. And at that time, I'm not sure if it was because it was just slow and it hadn't developed like it's developed now, or if it was the time of the year because it was like the beginning of January. So it may be that people were not really here. So I remember it being just really slow. I do remember going to some of the malls and there would be people out, but nothing like it is now. And the buildings were nothing like they are now. So, yeah, I I think the city has really developed, KO has developed and grown and become its own little city here in Southeast Asia that is developing well and is going to be an economic hub, right? If not already. So one thing that I love about KL, and there is no particular order for this list, okay? The one thing I do love is the cost of living. It is not the cheapest, but it is a very reasonable cost of living, right? You're living in the heart of the city. My backdrop from my apartment is beautiful. There is a bustling skyline. However, I'm not paying a gazillion dollars for that. I have a very nice apartment, luxury apartment with nice amenities, brand new, but I'm not paying thousands of dollars. You can go to the grocery store, you can eat well, and you're not spending a whole lot of money. I got my water bill today, and I was quite shocked because I was like, "What is this? This equates to a dollar. It was $1.32 in US dollars." I was like, What? I can pay the water bill for it. How many years we gonna pay it?" I was excited. I was like, yes. So the so the fact that you can live well is extremely important to me, and the cost of living is not extreme. and for especially to be in a nice city. Um, which brings me to the second thing that I love about KL is the people. I've met some really nice people. I've been networking since I got on the ground, and people have introduced me to other people and with ease and grace. Some of that could be me and my energy, but then I just really think that genuinely people are kind here. And it is important to note that there are three ethnicities that really make up Malaysia. That's the Malay, that would be Chinese, and then Indian. And I have met all three, and they're all, and just to be able to exist in one little country, and it's not like it's a huge country, it's a nice size beyond island, right? Um, and to have three major ethnicities that coexist and could could they're very diverse, right? Very diverse. Different spectrums. Islamic, Hindu, Chinese, very different, but they coexist. I'm not saying perfectly, but when I say that the people, they're proud, they're they're kind. Example, I lost my phone the other day in a grab, didn't know it. 3 hours later, I was like, oh my God. And I panicked, and eventually I figured out I could call my phone from my son's tablet and literally called. The grab driver answered. The grab is like an Uber. He answered, and he was in a whole nother state. Brought my phone back. He didn't try to bribe me or get any money out of me. Um, I had to tip him because, and I mean, I planned on meeting him and then giving him cash, but unfortunately, he dropped the phone off to my security. But just times, I love it. I just wish that the whole world was like that. So, friendly people. The third thing that I love about Malaysia is something I've already mentioned is the diversity. There's three different ethnicity groups. There are obviously more people living here that are, expats or moves here from Thailand or Vietnam or wherever, Australia. Um, but the diversity is amazing. Just, you can see all types of people. And again, they're coexisting. And something that America makes very black and white. It's like a rainbow nation here, and people are living very well together. So I absolutely love that. The next thing kind of ties into those last two, which is the food, y'all. Listen, when you have a very diverse country, you have very diverse food. And when I say you can step out your door and from your door to the next door to the next door, you're gonna find food everywhere. There's not a corner that there's no food on. You can eat high end, you can eat street food, like there is a plethora of variety in between, right? You can go to the mall and have 99 different restaurants. Like seriously, the food is good. The food is very reasonable. I don't want to say anything about cheap, but very economical. Like you literally can get a whole meal for $3 to $4 with a drink and be full. And it's good. It's not like it's garbage. Like it's amazing. You gotta come. And then the next thing, which is something I kind of mentioned, is the malls. There are malls on malls on malls on malls. So one of my favorite malls is the Pavilion. And the Pavilion is a luxury mall. There you can find Ferragamo, you can find Fendi, Chanel, you can find Louis Vuitton. You can find it all, right? I realized that there were I was like, this mall is amazing and it's huge. And then the food, there's like a gazillion food courts, right? There are 700 stores in this mall, 10 levels, no lie. That's one. So everywhere I go, I'm always at the malls. Like, and I hate shopping. She don't like shopping at all. But the malls here is they're an experience, y'all. An experience. So you have to come, you have to see, you have to understand. So there's a mall everywhere. So I was like, see malls are there because I haven't even been to a fourth of them, right? So I'm like, how many malls? So I Google it, right? I think Google is outdated. It doesn't really know, but it says 50. It says 50. I think it's way more than 50. But okay, let's go with the 50. There are 50 malls. And, you know, I asked why there's so many malls. And I was told because of the air conditioning, because it's hot outside, they can have malls so people can go places and have good air conditioning. Also, people like to window shop and the food. And then the next thing is that, well, Google said because of tourism. So there are a lot of people. And today I experienced that. I was at the pavilion and there was a plethora of Chinese people that were just like in groves, like buses on bus loads. Seriously, no. So I was like, whoa, this is a lot. And they were like grabbing stacks of M&Ms and candies and different stuff and that, I was like, this is too much, too much. But the malls. The next thing, the next thing is culture. So this is an Islamic country, okay? But unlike a lot of Islamic countries that can be very rigorous um, and have a lot of indoctrination, Malaysia is not like that, right? You do have the call of prayer 5 times a day, which I absolutely love. There's a mosque not too far from my house. Every morning at 4:40, I hear the call of prayer. And some days it's longer than others, the first one. And whoever is singing on it's not every morning, but a lot of mornings there is a guy who is singing. He puts riffs in it. You think you at a black church because I woke up. I was like, what is going on? Like, first of all, it's long, and then he didn't put riffs in it. He got it all jazzed up. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to that need to go over there and check them out because this is heavenly. It's so heavenly. So I love that. I love the call of prayers. I love that although it's a Muslim country, you can still wear, you can still be you, right? And nobody is asking you to convert. So we flew in from Doha and we spent a day in Doha. And I had to make sure, like, okay, culturally, I want to respect the culture. What should I wear? What can I wear? And, say I couldn't wear anything revealing my shoulders. So I had to make sure I had something that covered my shoulders. Had to make sure it was long enough and free flowing. So I just had a really long dress with long sleeves, and it was okay. And I was comfortable and cool enough, but you don't have to worry about that. Like there are a lot of Koreans that live here, and Korean women wear short skirts and shorts, and they're comfortable here. So if nothing else, the diversity in the culture and it all coming together that, Muslim, they wear their garbs and they're fine. And then you have everybody else and they do everything that, they would normally do. They sell alcohol, it's higher, but there is alcohol that is available. And so I think it's a great blend where people can still worship the way they want to worship, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not going into all the details of what could happen or what has happened to some people or whatever. But I think for it to be an Islamic culture and country, uh, there's a perfect blend that's happened. Not perfect, but a good blend of mixing and having cultures be able to respect the culture still here. The next thing is location. Location is that's what they say in real estate, right? Wow. Malaysia is connected to Singapore, so you can be in Singapore within an hour. You can be in Thailand within a couple hours. You can be in Indonesia. You could be in Vietnam, Cambodia, China, Taiwan. Um, you can get to Australia, you can get to Korea, you can get to Japan. So but within a couple hours, you can be somewhere, and that makes it centrally located. So I think anybody who is interested in traveling and being able to hit many spots, this is a great location. The next thing that I absolutely love, considering I've traveled all over the world, been to Europe, been to South America, been to Mexico, lived there. I lived in Korea, been to other parts of Asia. The thing that I absolutely love is I can speak English. And I know that you go to countries and you want to immerse and like be part of the culture and adapt to certain things. And language is important, especially I'm an intercultural consultant. So, language comes into play. But to be able to speak your own language, and even though English is not the first language of Malaysia, it is it's great to just be able to have a conversation and not to have to go to your translator and do all that. Now I have ran into it to people who don't speak English fluently, and fine, we still had conversation. I knew what they were talking about. They knew what I was talking about. There was some pointing going on, but at the end of the day, it was pretty easy. I have lived in a country where I didn't speak the language a couple times, and it's even though you can function that way, it's much easier when you can speak the language, and so much isn't getting lost in translation. So I like that. The next thing that I like, the next thing I think I like is the fact that I can get around pretty easily. So I haven't taken a bunch of transportation, but you have access to transportation in many forms. So you can take a bus, you can take a taxi, you can get in a Grab, which is like Uber. You can take the this MRT, I wrote it in MRT, LRT, ETS, the monorail. There's an express ERL. There's a train. So if you're going from the airport, there's a train that goes from between the two airports. There is a train that goes to the city. There's like a light rail. They even immerse in underground. So there's plenty of transportation. So, but basically, you can get around the city. You can get to and from the airport with ease. You have multiple transportation uh, available to you. Even with the Grab, you can get a Grab for hours. You can be like, hey, I need you for half a day. I'm gonna do, hop in, hop out shopping or something. You can get the Grab, and it's lovely. I rented a Grab for like 8 hours. I had a whole personal driver that drove me around, picked me up at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we just kind of went from different neighborhoods to different neighborhoods. This is prior to me finding a place to live, just to look and see what the neighborhoods look like. So, love that. That's my short list of why I love Malaysia, and particularly KL, because I haven't ventured out. I will be doing videos when I venture out and go to the other cities outside of KL. I've been to different states, but haven't been to any major cities that are outside of KL. So please like, share, and subscribe, but also drop a comment and tell me what you want to know about my experience living here in Malaysia. I am networking and I have some events coming up and some things that I'm doing, but um, I would like to make sure that my content is meeting my subscribers where their needs are. And also, I am an intercultural consultant. If you are contemplating living in Malaysia or elsewhere, I work with people who are moving all over the world. I have clients who are working for major corporations, then they're traditional expats, but I also have clients who are non traditional expats or what I call self initiated expats, and they need assistance. Maybe they need to prepare, do the planning process, whatever it is. You can always go to my website at www.childjones.com. But that's it for today. I hope to see you soon. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, live your best life because this is the only life. Thank you.